Kengen, the power generating company. Kengen, energy for the nation. Kengen, market leader in power generation.
Since the inauguration of our G2G strategy and the Vision 2030, we have made reasonably good progress by achieving several milestones in the G2G journey. We have, for example, delivered an extra 700 megawatts and drilled 150 geothermal wells with a capacity of over 500 megawatts. With the commencement of Al-Carrier 5, we have aggressively embarked on our journey to deliver an additional 2,500 megawatts by 2025. The primary focus of these initiatives is to create value for all our stakeholders and to remain dominant player in the market leader in the region. To achieve our vision, creativity and innovation will have to be the heart of our growth. I wish to assure all our staff and those present that the board has always been and will continue to be in the forefront of championing creativity and innovation in Kengen.
At Kengen, we are mavericks and we embrace innovation as the mother of all invention. Ideas that have changed the world have emanated from people making that choice to try something different. We must strive to try, identify breakthroughs, and never give up. And that is the spirit that I was impressed to find in this company when I walked in.
This is a forum to encourage all of you to bring those ideas. You might think those ideas are not important, but what is surprising is that from observation, some of the ideas have even been qualified as patents. And you'll be hearing this as we move along. And they are coming from non-technical staff, talking about technical stuff. You can imagine. So this is a forum for all of us to reflect and be courageous enough to bring those ideas forward and to challenge the status quo without fear. So courage is important.
The innovations must be able to take into account the soft issues within the employees. That for an employee to innovate more, he must be able to see that his initial conceptual ideas have been appreciated and modeled to fit into the environment of generation. Kengen being at the core of generation, we'll be expecting more of innovation in the technical side. But we now want to see more innovative approach in managing the soft issues.
The key is in geothermal. And the secrets of how geothermal manifests itself is that we have hit somewhere down that of the distance of around 5 kilometers or so. And the degrees, when you look, is very, very high, very hot, 5,000 degrees centigrade. Now, when this heat comes into contact with water, that's when you get the steam. If you are able to access that steam by drilling down, then that's when you get your geothermal. What happens is that we drill down to access the magma where it directly boils the water. And on average, in Al-Carrier, we've been drilling up to distances of 3,000 meters, that's 3 kilometers. The deepest well is 3,650. So this is the well that you can see down accessing our hot fluid. That fluid then gets its way up through the drilled well and through the steam pipes into a separator where we separate the steam and we remove the brine, that is the water. Then we get the dry steam, we take it all the way to run our turbines. So these are steam turbines run by the steam. This turbine is coupled to a generator. That generator is where we get the electricity generated. This generated electricity then is stepped up on a step-up transformer for transmission and accessing the consumers. Part of what remains that we call brine is then taken back onto the ground through our injection well and becomes a closed loop. That's why we call it green, because then it's sustainable. If you're able to sustain that recharge continuously.
Kenya is still relying on some unreliable power sources, and which is making businesses use a lot of generators, which is dirty energy. And by the way, we're also talking about coal soon. Pollution is still a major problem. We are talking about Nairobi producing 300% more waste than it can handle. And businesses are contributing more than 33% of that waste.
Who has used a club meter here before? What is the biggest challenge you face? The challenge you face, like in your circle, like this in your microphone, is when you're trying to clamp inside. Okay, you are limited. All right? Now, we make sure where in the place where you cannot be able to address and get into the cables, we provide you a solution. Only if we can do this. We provide what we call a flexi. All right? You put it inside the club meter. It doesn't matter how thick the cable is, like my neck, you just flip it around. And what? Just to answer my colleague from where I said the cable was thicker than the cable, than the club meter, then you can do what? Measurement. Or you can just take it flexible and twist it into your CTs wherever you can't move them and clamp it over there. And with this, did you say that's good? With this, you can be able to measure 2,500 amps on AC. Only fluid can do that.
I would like to dedicate my presentation about the innovation of G2G. Why we are different than other binary companies, and why we achieve in very fast time, in less than 5 years, we are the second largest binary provider in the world. From 2013 to 2015, we installed over 200 megawatt in organic ranking cycle.
Hydropower is more and more important in today's field of new energy, because the only source of large-scale energy storage can be done by pump storage hydropower. So if we have a look which different kind of power plants, of hydropower plants we have, then this picture shows you quite a lot of that. So number one is a storage power plant, which we have in the Alps. We have a large storage and snow melting in, and the storage leads for the whole year. But on the other hand, the new technology, the innovative technology, is coming from the renewables, like solar and wind. So if you have a look to the number 13, there is a wind farm, and with the wind farm, you pump up the water in the other source of pump storage power plant. And another innovative product of Andritz is this number 12, which is like a wind turbine, but it is under the sea. And the different kind of power plants, for example, there is number 7, which is a very low head run-of-the-river power plant. So for any kind, from high head, from 2,000 meters head to low head, let's say 2 meters of head, we have the right solution. So you can get everything from us.
Modular systems, which can be a little bit more intelligent. We don't have to run around to the different places, right? We can remotely see and drill down to this, and I don't have to be on the ground with this unit.
Okay. These are wireless.
Some of them are wireless, some of them are wired. So the wireless system is there. If you just turn around here, remember I talked about Hard 5? So all I'm doing is I'm stripping Hard 5 out of it, making it Hard 7, talking to this gateway which I put in the control room, and in one unit I can see and control 100 instruments.
In geology or in any well, there is the aspect of fracture identification and delineation. As you can see, the gadget collects data, the processing is done by a qualified or somebody who has been trained on it. In structural analysis of well logs and even normal structural geology, you do what you identify strike deeps, azimuth, and you prepare what are called stereographic projection.
We are proposing development of a mobile application by Kengen, and mobile application is basically a software that is intended to run on smart devices, basically our phones, and that is what we are proposing for Kengen to develop. Globally and locally, companies are taking advantage of mobile applications to reap the advantages of low cost of communication, convenience of access to information, improved employee engagement, and creating a stronger company brand, among other benefits. The image in front of us shows us that in the current world that we are living in today, most people prefer to use mobile applications to access online information, unlike using other channels like browsers. So in this image, we are seeing that 90% of individuals would prefer to access online content using mobile applications, unlike the 10% which is preferring to use browsers. So that justifies the need for us as a company to engage with our employees using the preferred approaches.
The natural gas is a byproduct which is a byproduct of the oil exploration. Kengen can take this opportunity to partner in the production of the power using the natural gas at the South Lokichar. It is worthwhile to note that the gas in the field is a byproduct, as I said, and the cost will definitely be a bit lower than the normal gas we use to run our turbines presently. The gas turbine that we'll actually put in that area will actually even help to take care of the environmental pollution, because the gas that will come from the oil fields will not just be exposed to the environment. In a way, it will be taken care of before it is discharged off to the environment. The turbines we have now, the GT turbines we have presently, in a few years to come, like what we have in Embakasi and Moroni, with the coming up of Olkaria 5 and the many other avenues of generation, probably after the line to Western is completed to evacuate supply from Olkaria to Western region, probably we might not need the GTs in Moroni and Embakasi. We can actually take these ones to Lokichar and use them on the natural gas instead of what we are using now.
In life, we go through cycles. When you are at your best, just know it won't last. Be ready for when you go down. When you go down, just be sure it won't last. You'll for sure come back up. And that's the heartbeat of life. And I think, Kengen, you are really doing well in those terms.
We are now in the award category. And I want to invite the Managing Director and CEO to start us off. Management Proposal and Project category. Kengen Mobile Applications.
Overall winner category, winner, Wellhead, Unit 1, diaphragm repair.
sat here listening to each one of you doing the presentations, I was just telling myself, there is so much in terms of skills and assets within Kengen. And if we can leverage on those resources, then we're really going to get very far.